Let's be real. Lots of people are getting stimulus checks right now. And it seems like everywhere you turn, somebody's trying to tell you what to do with the money because they want it. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Andrew Sherman and welcome to the Dad Manual. And this is my attempt as a dad, and only a dad, to talk about what you should be doing with your stimulus check. First and foremost, the general disclaimer. I do not want your money. I have my own money. I am just a dad who gets very sick and tired of seeing false information being spread on the internet and on the news. So with that being said, let's talk about the top 5 things that you should be doing with your stimulus check. As all of the content on this channel is geared toward the 99% and not the top 1%, we're going to be talking about what that 99% has to do with this stimulus check if they want to be successful. The number one thing you have to do as soon as your stimulus check comes in, if you want to be successful, is you have to commit to yourself that you will sleep on it before you act on any decision. And I really do mean any decision. Rushing to judgment almost always leads to bad decisions. And this is no small amount of chump change that you're dealing with. Chances are you're a middle-class American, which means this isn't the same as walking by a penny on the road. It may not be life-changing money that's going to move you into a mansion, but it's definitely more than that dollar you gave to your kid to go to spend over at Nickel World. This amount of money deserves respect, and it deserves your consideration as to what you're going to use it for. You're going to have Wall Street, investors, and advertisers trying to convince you that it's your civic duty to spend all of this money just YOLOing away to grow the economy.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Come here. I'm going to let you in on a secret. That's total horseshit.
Yeah, it is. It is not your job to spend that money. This money was given out as a stimulus to help you, not to go YOLO away, not to make it rain. It is more important that you treat it with the respect that it deserves. The second thing that you have to do if you want to be successful with your stimulus check is you need to break down your spending into 3 different groups: needs, bills, and wants. Did you notice the order I put them in? Needs, then bills, then wants. This is going to piss off a lot of creditors and a lot of landlords that I know. But you have to fund your needs first. It's important to pay your bills. It's important to catch up on them. However, it does no good to throw all the money into rent that you need to be caught up on and not have any money to buy food for your table. That doesn't make any sense. To make certain you don't have the gas to get back and forth to work. Your first priority has to be needs. I know this because as a landlord, this entire pandemic, I've called tenants who have had problems every single week, and my first thing that I tell them before they ever give me a dime has been, do you have food on the table? Do you have your needs covered? And every single one of them that's been behind on rent, I've worked with personally to make certain that they can make ends meet. This is important because you get one chance with this money. And as soon as it's gone, it's gone. What are you going to do when you blow a tire next week and you can't afford to get it repaired and you lose your job? You're just going to fall behind on rent again. It is extremely important that you pay for needs first, that you pay for bills second, and then afterwards, if there's money left over, then decide you're going to go ahead and take care of some wants. Remember, the stimulus check is going to eventually help you if you treat it properly. If not, you might as well just piss away the money. Now, to be clear, you don't need a new 70-inch screen TV just because it's on sale at Walmart. You also don't need a new $1,400 computer for little Jimmy to use at school when his $70 used Chromebook that was bought 2 years ago still allows him to get on Google Classroom and do everything that he was able to do before. You also don't need to satiate your need to eat by going to McDonald's and spending $30 on a meal. And if you're going to the grocery store, don't be thinking you need to buy organic. and paying triple the price. Spending the money with just willy-nilly like that is just as bad as spending the money on a 70-inch screen TV. It's a complete waste. If you have the money to pay for all of your needs and then all of your bills, and you've got the money left over, you can satiate your wants. Until then, focus on the priority. The third thing that you have to do if you want to be successful with your stimulus check is you have to consider setting aside some of that money for a part of an emergency fund. Now, if you've already got an emergency fund set up, then that's great. You're already taken care of. If you don't, this is one of the few times you're going to get a lump sum of money that can come to you right away that can help address this issue. And if you don't think you need an emergency fund and you spend all that money and then your tire blows while you're on your way to work tomorrow and you have no money to go ahead and pay for that, you'll have nobody to blame but yourself. Having an emergency fund is crucial to being able to sleep at night. It's crucial for mental well-being and for making good decisions. I'm not suggesting a family of 4 that gets $5,600 from the U.S. government right now plops all $5,600 into an emergency fund. What I am saying is if you don't have one at all, perhaps consider keeping $1,000 on the side to pay for the flat tire. Perhaps keeping $1,000 on the side to pay for the couple of days that need to be taken off in case a medical emergency happens. It's important that you go ahead and you set aside some money. And I get it. Wall Street investors and advertisers, they're all out there telling you it's your civic duty to spend that money. Creditors are looking for it and they're trying to take it from you. I'm telling you, once it's gone, and you have nothing to prepare for an emergency. You have to have something. So it's important that you at least evaluate it before you just decide you're going to spend all the money. The fourth thing that you have to do with this stimulus check, if you want to be successful, is start to consider your future. Listen, I get it. This is not enough money that's life-altering on its own. It's not enough to move you from your current situation into a mansion. I'm not suggesting by any means it is. What I am telling you is it's enough money to start the process of you changing the rest of your life. Take $100, open a brokerage account, use Webull to get a couple of free stocks, or if you want to buy fractional shares, use Fidelity. Do something and start a habit of consistent investing. $5 a week, $10 a week, $25 a week, and consistently invest in your future. If you do not take your future seriously, when you get there, you won't have anything. There's an old Chinese proverb, and if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is now. Take the opportunity while you have the money in your hand. It's the only way you're ever going to start is by making the transaction and starting it one step at a time. And on a sidebar, for those of you who are going to sit back and criticize the idea of people opening up brokerage accounts because,
oh my God, I can't believe you're telling them to put $100 into the stock accounts. That's not what it's intended for. And $100 is never going to change their entire life. I can't believe you're being so irresponsible and telling them to do something that they shouldn't be doing instead of paying down debt.
listen, if you'd invested $100 20 years ago into Apple, that would be worth over $35,000 now, which means a stimulus check of this size invested in Apple 20 years ago would have been worth almost $500,000. Now I get, every stock is not Apple. This isn't the point though. It's not about trying to get rich with small amounts of money. It's about starting your financial education process. Knowledge is a key component to financial freedom. The equation to generate enough wealth to have financial freedom basically looks like this. The amount of money that's invested times the rate of return times the amount of time it was invested equals the wealth that was generated. Now there's basically two ways to get a good ROR. Number one, you can get it through luck. That's just gambling. Number two, you can get it through knowledge. You cannot get knowledge just by reading a book. That's not how it works. You need context, you need understanding, you need to have wins and losses of your own. As Albert Einstein said, any fool can know. The point is to understand. And it is important that you start that journey to understand how to get that ROR, how to properly invest as early as possible. If you do not, you will be limiting yourself. That is the truth. There's nothing else I can say about it. That is the truth. The fifth and final thing that you have to do if you want to be successful with your stimulus check is you have to understand that it's okay for you to take some of that money and go treat yourself. I recommend only 5%. And the reason I recommend 5% is because you don't live in a cave. So you should be allowed to go do something. Pamper yourself for a day. It's all right. Go out to dinner with your loved ones. Maybe go take a trip over to the closest water park. Maybe go ahead and go see a local movie. It's all right to spend some money. It's not okay to be so frugal that you actually hate life. Just remember, you should sleep on it before you spend any money, because any rush to judgment will probably lead to a regret later. Well, that about wraps up today's episode. What I want to know, though, is what you feel about the tips I provided today. Tell me about them down in the comments below. And make certain you hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And consider sharing this with one of your friends. It really helps out the algorithm. Thanks for joining me today. We post videos here every Tuesday and Friday. And until next time, I'm Andrew Sherman. This is the Dad Manual. And remember, failure isn't bad. Failure to try and learn is. Have a good one.